151st Kentucky Derby is just days away, and it's set for this Saturday. However, rain is in the forecast, and it's leading up to the Kentucky Oaks and the Derby. Since the Derby's debut back in 1875, nearly half of the events have been touched by rain at some point. The risk of weather impact, or ROE, here at Fox Weather is going to be in place, and they both have Saturday and Sunday at a medium level as of now. So to discuss the race for the Roses and how weather might be playing a role, we're joined now by Tanya Abelin. She's the Vice President of Communications at Churchhill Downs. Tanya, I want to thank you for joining us here this afternoon at Fox Weather. I talked about it. Nearly half of all derbies since 1875 have seen some rain. So how does the history shape up for planning in terms of this upcoming weekend, where we're now looking at rain leading up to the weekend, but also maybe impact in the weekend?
Weather is an enormous factor in the Kentucky Derby for so many reasons. And as you said, over half of the Kentucky Derbies in the 150-year history have impacted by rain. First of all, the competition itself. So you have horses who perform better on a sloppy track than they do on a fast track, a fast dry track. So that is something that people consider when they're placing their wagers. So the sport itself is affected by weather. Then you have the spectacle of the Kentucky Derby, which is all about fashion and hats. And you have people who have planned their clothes for months in advance, spent a lot of money. And so suddenly when they have a lot of rain, they're thinking about how do we protect these clothes? How do we protect these beautiful hats? One tip that a milliner gave me was feathers. A lot of people use a lot of feathers on their hats. And they said, feathers come from birds. Birds are in the rain all the time, so they're actually not affected by rain, which was a really interesting tip. But then also just the spectacle itself, people move about a lot. The Kentucky Derby is an all-day extravaganza. There are races every hour, so in between those races, people are moving about and socializing. And some feedback that we've gotten from guests over the years, because rain can impact in such a great way, is that they wanted more covered seating options. And so our renovations over the past decade have really included a lot more seating options so that people don't get wet when they're here to enjoy the day of the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, that's a really good thing that you guys implemented this year, and it comes in handy, obviously, with the rain on the way for this upcoming week. Now, here at Fox Weather, you may have heard me mention ROE, or risk of weather impact. That's considered to be a level on the days that we have active weather. Well, Friday and Saturday, we have a medium in place for both of those days. How has the messaging been to folks that maybe are packing or planning to come into your region coming up this weekend? How are you guys getting that wording out that, hey, we do have some weather conditions that may worsen and you want to keep them safe?
So we have a Churchill Downs app, which has push notifications. So anytime that there's severe risk of weather or there's an operational issue that we need to notify the 150,000 people that are coming to the Derby, we're able to get that information to them quickly, fortunately. There's been one Oaks day in my recent memory where we did have severe enough weather that we had to evacuate the infield. And so a situation like that happens spur of the moment. We get the word out through our PA system, through the big board that we have. We're still pushing out those app notifications to try to get people to safety. So we have safety and operational plans in place to be able to put that immediately into gear and get people as safe as possible.
Okay, so you guys are getting the word out there. Before I let you go, Tanya, I have to ask you, I love your hat. I love your whole setup here. What are you most excited about in terms of this upcoming weekend's events? And what is it that folks can look forward to as we count down to the greatest 2 minutes in sports?
You know, rain or shine, the Kentucky Derby is one of the greatest spectacles in sports. And so what I really enjoy more than anything else is watching. It is a spectator sport. It is one of those sports where the guests are really participating because the ambiance is such an important element of the Kentucky Derby. So I just can't wait to see what people are wearing. You know, I always enjoy the outcome of the race. I love journalism this year and publisher because I do fancy myself a writer. So that's a nice exacta tip bet if anybody in your audience is hoping to do that. But the horses are so beautiful and it's just a gorgeous day. And really, rain or shine, there's something for everyone here at the Kentucky Derby.
All right. I'm so excited to see how things pan out this upcoming weekend. Again, thank you for joining us here at Fox Weather. That's Churchhill Downs Vice President of Communications, Tanya Abelin. Thank you again.
Thanks so much.